Welcome to Aswan, Egypt's southern gem where the Nile flows slower, the sun shines brighter, and time seems to stretch just a little longer. I've dreamed about coming to Aswan for so long, and now that I'm finally here, it feels even more magical than I imagined. I've been wandering through ancient temples, sipping tea along the Nile, and watching the sunset behind sailboats. It's peaceful, it's powerful, and it's unlike anywhere I've ever been. If you're taking a trip to Egypt, then you absolutely have to visit Aswan. I'll be sharing my top 5 favorite things to do in Aswan, from visiting stunning temples to sailing on a traditional felucca at sunset. If you're planning a trip to Egypt or just love discovering magical places, this one's for you. Let's dive into Aswan together. First, I welcome you to a place that feels like it was pulled straight from the pages of a novel. Because, well, it was. This is the Old Cataract Hotel in Aswan, where Agatha Christie once wrote Death on the Nile, and where royalty, writers, and dreamers have come to unwind for over a century. A must-do experience is getting afternoon tea at Old Cataract Aswan. Even if you're not staying at the hotel, you can visit and enjoy afternoon tea on property. You're served delicate finger sandwiches and fresh scones with sweeping views of feluccas on the Nile. It's definitely an unforgettable experience. Next, you have to visit the Nubian villages on Elephantine Island. Just across the river from the heart of Aswan is a place that feels like its own little world, Elephantine Island. It is home to one of the most vibrant and welcoming Nubian villages in Egypt. As soon as you step off the boat, the colors hit you. Bright blues, warm yellows, and intricate patterns paint on every wall. It's beautiful, but there's so much more to it than that. This is a living, breathing community full of heart. The Nubian people have a rich history here, one rooted in tradition, storytelling, and deep connection to the Nile. I was invited into a Nubian family's home to share a meal and conversation, and it's the kind of experience that reminds you what travel is really about. If you've never had Nubian cooking, then you've been seriously missing out. I had the most fantastic and delicious meal at this home, and I am still dreaming about the lentil soup. You know I definitely went back for a second serving. Everything is fresh, colorful, and full of flavor. I am honored to have shared a meal with this family. If you're visiting Aswan, don't skip this place. The Nubian village on Elephantine Island isn't just a photo op. It's a window into culture, history, and the incredible warmth of the people who call it home. Moving on to Abu Simbel. Although Abu Simbel is not in Aswan, a day trip down south to perhaps the grandest temple in Egypt is absolutely worth it. Most tourists from Aswan leave early in the morning, so here I am at 4:30 in the morning heading out on a journey to Abu Simbel. The drive takes about 3 hours through the Nubian desert. It's quiet, vast, and strangely beautiful, like the whole world is still waking up. However, don't expect to be by yourself when you arrive. Abu Simbel is a very popular attraction, and since most tourists depart at the same time from Aswan, you find yourself arriving with everyone else. It's 8:22 a.m. and just made Abu Simbel, and it is quite crowded already. After a short walk, we've made it to the temples, and it is quite busy. Abu Simbel absolutely took my breath away. The sheer size, the detail, the way the statues are carved directly into the rock, it doesn't even look real. These towering statues have stood here for over 3,000 years, guarding the entrance to one of Egypt's greatest masterpieces. Just wait until you see the inside of these temples. It's unbelievable how well preserved Abu Simbel is. Inside, the carvings tell stories of power, gods, and legacy. Each wall, each pillar is covered in scenes that speak of devotion. Ramses II appears again and again, not just as a king, but as a god.
These inscriptions and just overall stories here at Abu Simbel are some of the best I've ever seen when it comes to ancient history. It's actually crazy how well preserved these are. I've been to places in Greece and everywhere else, and they're in ruins, and here they've just been so well preserved by being buried by the sand.
I felt like I was walking through thousands of years of history and was overwhelmingly moved. It is incredible what the ancient Egyptians did. Every inch of this temple feels so purposeful. These scenes were meant to impress both mortals and gods alike. One of the coolest part, at the very heart of the temple, deep in the sanctuary, you'll find 4 divine figures seated. Twice a year, the sun aligns perfectly to light up 3 of them, leaving Ptah, the god of the underworld, in shadow. How incredible and symbolic is that? It truly is an ancient architectural marvel. There are actually 2 temples on site at Abu Simbel, and the second temple is dedicated to Ramses II's queen, Nefertari. Carved into the cliff are 6 massive figures, 4 Ramses, and incredibly, 2 of Nefertari herself. This alone is rare. In ancient Egypt, queens were almost always shown smaller than their kings, but not here. Here, she stands just as tall. Inside, every surface glows with symbolic carvings. Nefertari offering incense, receiving blessings, and walking with the gods. It's not just beautiful, it's deeply personal. You feel the love and respect Ramses had for her. This temple isn't about power or conquest. It's about legacy, partnership, and love carved into a rock that's meant to last forever. The second temple at Abu Simbel may be smaller in size, but in meaning, it's just as grand. A monument to a queen who ruled alongside her king. And what's even more incredible, this entire site was moved stone by stone to save it from rising waters when the Aswan High Dam was built. One of the greatest archaeological rescue missions ever. Abu Simbel isn't just a monument, it's a reminder of human genius, devotion, and the kind of beauty that makes you feel completely in awe. This day trip is long, but standing in front of Abu Simbel makes you feel small in the best way, like you've just witnessed something truly timeless. Now back to another incredible site in Aswan, Philae Temple. This temple is dedicated to Isis, who is the goddess of love, healing, motherhood, and magic. It is set on an island and you can only get there by boat, which already makes it feel like an adventure. Safety first! And it's on a little island, so I take a little motorboat over, which is why I had the little life jackets on. But yeah.
It's also known as the temple perfume because everyone usually leaves flowers and a lot of really nice scented items as offerings. So I'm hoping for a really good smell when we walk in.
Let's go. Philae Temple was also moved as well. When the Aswan High Dam was built, this island almost went underwater. So UNESCO literally relocated the entire temple, stone by stone, to higher ground. Absolutely unreal. As you get closer, the temple just appears out of the water. It sits on a small island and looks like something out of a movie. And we've made it! We visited in the early morning at opening time, so this is far less crowded than Abu Simbel. Philae was one of the last ancient temples ever built in the classical Egyptian style. The columns, the hieroglyphics, the carvings, it's all incredibly well preserved. Once you walk inside Philae Temple, the first thing you notice is how massive the columns are. They're covered in carvings of lotus flowers, palm leaves, and rows of hieroglyphics. You'll see scenes of Isis, Horus, and Osiris, some of the most important figures in ancient Egyptian mythology. A lot of the carvings show Isis receiving offerings or protecting the pharaoh. Then you'll step into the hypostyle hall, a large room with thick columns and a high ceiling. This was used for ceremonies and rituals. On the walls, you'll see the king making offerings to the gods, sometimes holding incense or pouring water. These carvings are so detailed, it's hard to believe they're thousands of years old. If you keep walking deeper, you'll reach the inner sanctuary, which once held a sacred statue of Isis. Today, the room is empty, but you can still see the altar where the statue would have stood. Even if you visited a few temples already, Philae still stands out. It's compact, peaceful, and packed with details. And lastly, you absolutely have to take a felucca ride on a Nile river. A felucca is a traditional Egyptian sailboat, and they have glided along the Nile for centuries. There's truly no better way to soak in the magic of the river than being on a felucca. There are plenty of cruise ships that sail the Nile, but a felucca is a whole different experience. This is not just a boat ride. It's a moment to unplug, to feel the wind catch a sail, and to drift through one of the most iconic rivers in the world. You'll pass everything from modern cityscapes to quiet patches of palm trees and desert banks. And when the sun begins to set, that's pure magic. Some rides last an hour, others longer. You can even book sunset rides with dinner or spend a night on a felucca. I actually decided to book an overnight sail on a felucca, and it's one of the most memorable nights of my life. I spent a day admiring the changing landscapes and feeling the wind all around me. I got to watch the sunset and sunrise right on the felucca. No engine, no noise, just the wind, the water, and the soft sound of the boat cutting through the Nile. If you come to Aswan, don't skip this. It's simple, it's peaceful, and it's unforgettable. A felucca ride isn't just a must-do, it's a must-feel. Let me know if you have any questions about visiting Aswan. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.